Hello there, my crafty friends. Welcome to another video from me. This is Grace, and this is layout number 20 in my creative exercise series. This is a series that I'm doing here in my YouTube channel this year, and the prompts came from a book called Daily Creative by Todd Henry. It's a book that I read at work, and it just really resonated to me because it has a lot of different prompts that I know that I can use to kind of think outside of my comfort zone or just think outside of the box when it comes to creating. So the prompt today came from the October 27th prompt. Basically, this book has a kind of creative idea, creative thought every single day. So there's 365 creative thoughts, and some of them are geared for like if your job is a creative job. And so some of them like deal with like how do you deal with coworkers or like clients and things like that. But there's also some things that I feel like can easily be translated into paper crafting, and that's what I've been picking. Of course, there's 365 prompts, and I cannot do a layout a day. That's just too much with like video editing and voiceover and things like that. So I decided to just pick 2 per month. So we are now I think I'm posting this in November, maybe it's in October, I can't remember, but we are now in layout number 20. So the prompt is called the stimulus cue. And it said, some people leave their raw creative inputs to chance. As a pro, you can't afford to leave your stimulus to chance. A stimulus cue, it's a list of items that you plan to read, experience, and watch next. The key is to file away interesting stimuli and work through them in a processed way. So when I read that, the first thing that popped into my head is my Pinterest board. I have all of my ideas stored there. So why not pull some of the ideas that I've already put in there to create this layout? So initially, my idea was to pull 3 things from 3 different boards. So the first board that I pulled out from was Double Sketch Inspiration. And if I remember, I will link my Pinterest board over in the description box below. But there was this really cool double page layout that I saw that had blocks of paper, a 9 square grid on the right, and then a 4 square grid on the bottom of the left, and then a single photo on the top left with like kind of scattered paper on the background. And so I really like that because if you've been here for a while, you know that I love to scrapbook events, and I usually do that in a double page spread. So the more area for me to add photos, the better. So when I see sketches or page ideas that have a lot of space for layouts, that's like I'm pinning that right away. Not even, there's no even question about it, right? So that's what I'm trying to do here. Now these photos are of my son during his senior year in the spring sports season. He signed up for the swim team. So he's a senior, and this was his first year in high school competitive swimming. So really, like he wanted to do this because initially he wanted to go to the Navy, and so he wanted to make sure that he was really good in swimming. And so this was one of his ways to, be ready for that. Of course, the Lord had different plans for him. So instead of going to the military, he actually went on the mission for our church. But anyway, so he did this for 1 season. And, I guess this is one of the things that you just never know what your kids will impress you with, right? Because he went in here knowing, he knew how to swim, but he didn't really know competitively and the proper way and all that stuff. But he was, the coaches were very impressed with him, that they were they gave him a spot in the varsity. And then, I mean, of course he didn't get any, like, he didn't go to state or any of that stuff, but it was still pretty impressive that he was able to go as far as he did with his season, being that it was his first and only season of swimming in high school. Okay, so let's go back to the layout. As you can see, I've cut, most of my pictures, or all of my pictures actually, are 3x4, but I trimmed 6 of them. No, yeah, 6 of them, I had to count, to make them 3x3. And then I also matted them with some blue cardstock. So that was the second kind of idea or stimuli that I had, was a color combo. One of the combos that I had saved was this like dark brown or brown with some blues and reds. I thought that was a really kind of cool, like masculine, but also like a fall color. It was a really interesting color scheme. And so I pulled out papers to match that. Some of the papers are from my scraps. Some of them are from a 6x6 pads. I just thought that that was an interesting color combo that I would never have thought of. But it makes sense because you have the browns and the whites as the neutrals, but then you have reds and blues, which really, like, if you look at the color wheel, they're on the opposite side, so they complement each other. But I feel like that was a combo that I never thought that I would like, but I actually really like. The third idea that I had, or the third stimuli, was a quote, but I actually ended up not using the quote just because there was no room for it. I can't even remember the quote anymore, but something like, we do our best, or something motivational like that would fit really well with the sports theme. And then I ended up not doing it, but it's okay because there's a lot of space here for me to play and to add some details. Another thing that I kind of deviated from the plan was that bottom left part had 4 spaces for squares, but I can only fit 3, and that's fine with me, because if I tried to do 4, it would either make it like you won't see the notches on the sides of that paper that I had cut, and or my papers will not be a square, but instead it will be a rectangle, and I didn't quite like that one, so I just decided to do 3. Now I'm inking the edges of these papers right here just to make them stand out a little bit more against the background, and of course, since I'm layering them on top of each other, kind of give them difference between each other as well. Now this stripe banner, initially I was just gonna lay that onto the paper, but it just seems like a little short to me, so I added a strip of that blue cardstock that I have been using to mat my photos with, and then I'm just gonna put that behind. And it was just not a nice little way to, again, emphasize that banner without taking too much away from the rest of the design. And again, I haven't glued anything here yet. I'm still moving things around, not committing yet, just kind of switching from left and right, and finalizing the items that I am going to adhere here. Now I have my pictures already, and then I have my paper, so now it's time to kind of see what I'm going to do to decorate this layout. And one of the things on the inspiration page that I'm taking this from is they use 3 of the square parts to add some embellishments, and so that's what I'm going to do here. But I'm going to continue adding embellishments to the bottom 3 as well. You can also use this area again for more pictures, but I only had 8 pictures for this particular event or memory, so I'm just gonna use the rest of them to add embellishments. Initially, I had wanted to put the title somewhere on the right side, or maybe on the bottom of those 2 3x4 vertical photos, but then I noticed that I didn't really have a plan for those 3 squares on the bottom, and so that's where my title is going to go for, but that's going to be for later. Now, I also have pre-printed my journaling here, and so I'm just adhering that to one of the squares on the right side. And then I used my nested circle die to create some circles. If you watched my previous video, you know that that was one of my favorites because I used that one for the layout before this one. So creative exercise video number 19 also used that those squares, or sorry, those circles there, nested circles. I had stamped a quote or title onto a white scrap of paper, and then I'm going to adhere that to the top right. I like the quote on this. It worked perfectly. This is not the quote that I was telling you about that I had in my stimuli, but I also feel like this worked, and it fit perfectly in the space that I wanted it to go to. Now, I got this sticker sheet from Hobby Lobby maybe like 2-3 years ago. It was on sale. It was $2.99, and then it was on sale for 79 cents. And when I saw it, I knew, so my son just did his swim season, and so I knew that I will have photos, definitely memories to use or to capture with that particular theme. So I just grabbed it, and it turns out that it worked really well for the color scheme that I had, because it had all the different shades of blue plus the red. The only thing it didn't have was the brown, but the gold kind of was a good, I don't want to say like variation of it, because sometimes gold can be a yellow variation, but needless to say, I thought that was a good neutral variation instead of the brown. And so here I'm just having fun now. Really, my goal for this sticker sheet was to use it for documenting his swim season. So I think this is going to be it as far as the layout for this particular memory. So I am okay using it all up. And then I have this sticker that says eat, sleep, swim. And although he didn't really, he wasn't really that like gung-ho, or that's all he did for that season, I still think that he was very committed to what he was doing, and so I'm going to use that as the title. And then I'm going to finish it off with a few more embellishments, again using the sticker sheet that I have, and adding some of them with some foam adhesive to give my layout a little bit more dimension and interest. And that's going to be it. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you like these videos, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop that down in the comment section below. I do not answer as fast as I should. That is one thing that I need to change in the future, but for now, rest assured that once I get to it, I do read it and I do try to answer it as if there's any questions. And let me know if you get to make a layout with this stimulus cue prompt, and I will let you watch the rest of me putting stickers on, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye now.